Hello there guys, it's Kristi, and I was wondering if you could help me with a bit of a mystery.
Tell me where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego?
Damn, if Carmen Sandiego really looks like that, no wonder no one's trying to find that bitch.
I'm wondering why it is that Bering refuses to debate me or have a discussion on the accusations he made about me and Danny Quartz.
I think it's because regardless as to whether or not she emailed it to Cobalt Cat, she did dox him by overzealously spreading the link multiple times across several videos. According to Mike Rowlands in a video posted on the same day, Kristi was doxed around the same time too by the infamous Bering fans. Does that mean she can never be doxed again by people spreading that? Instead of showing she didn't do anything underhanded, her and Danny got in a big hurry, scurried around and deleted any and all evidence before anybody could see it, because that's what innocent people with nothing to hide do. Also, it's probably because Kristi and her friends are incredibly dishonest, with every single interaction they have with Bering is just a tactic to look for anything they can to twist into something they think is horrible.
Conspiring to gather his information, giving it to Cobalt Cat, and doing all that.
Now this subject bores the living shit out of me. It's not fun, it's been analysed many times over, and as far as I'm concerned, it's done. It's over.
So here is the situation. Over a year ago, Bering falsely accused Danny and myself of deciding to gather his private information, of actually gathering that information and then handing it off to Cobalt Cat, who published it on Encyclopedia Dramatica.
While I was asleep, apparently, a bunch of feminists on Facebook and other places were having conversations about this, and they thought that it would be a really good idea to get an image of Bering. You know, what he looks like, to share links of websites that Bering is on with his private information, and then talk among themselves about what to do with this information. Now, I was in bed at the time, so I didn't see any of this, but I was told about it when I woke up, that the reaction that some people on the feminist side are having to this is, you know what is doxing really? Is it really doxing when you share private information about someone else just among your friends? It's just private stuff. I mean, I'm sure it won't leak out. It's not like that kind of thing happens.
If this group leaks, which it will, because they always do.
I mean, is it really doxing? And so their reaction is to start making excuses for doxing themselves, and to make excuses for that person who doxed Bering's last name. By the way, look, all these fucking people on my side are involved in doxing. Oh, that's fine, no problem. You know, they're on my side, so they can just dox away. Who gives a shit? No, I mean, I don't stand for that. So if I had been awake and not in bed while all this is happening, I would have screenshotted the shit out of that, and I would have covered that on this video and said, this is hypocritical. These feminists and these people who are part of social justice, they think the way to respond to a scumbag like Bering is to gather more of his private info. With the intent of what? I don't know what they want to do with it.
Have been discussing you, and I'm assuming they weren't doing it because they wanted to decide where to send your Christmas present, right? I'm sure they weren't saying it with nice things in mind.
The feminist community or the social justice community itself is kind of toxic. Look at it. Look at this bullshit that they're trying to think up.
On December 31st, Go Fem Yourself, a smaller feminist YouTuber, posted a 30-plus minute-long video. In it, she describes firsthand what it's like behind the scenes in the feminist doxing server. I mean, the private Facebook group of at least 5 people, possibly more, consisting of at least Go Fem Yourself, Kristi Winters, Danny Quartz, Tim Blake, Ranting Feminist, and I think also Michael Rowlands was in there as well. How many people do you need to reveal information to before it's doxing?
You know, something happened at first which compelled me to make the video about online harassment, and then this shit happened where a couple of feminists fucking, pretty much bullied me, threw shit at me until I took that video down, which compels me to make this video now and talk about something else that's been really fucking bothering me for a while with the online feminist community, which is some feminists' huge fucking double standard and bias, and the problem still with freedom of speech and silence being imposed by others for whatever reason they deem acceptable by their standards. Now, in that video, I didn't publish any threats of any kind. I haven't doxed anyone or threatened to dox people. I haven't engaged in harassment or dogpiling. And for the record, I'm against all this shit. I'm against publishing links that lead to doxing info even, which is just further doxing, by the way, for you hypocrites who confess yourselves that you weren't the one who published the information. That's right, because you just make it available to as many people as possible.
On or about December 6th, a well-known website that I will not put their name out there because I don't want to promote the doxing. Again, I'm not going to give the name of this website because the amount of personally identifying information on that website is quite extensive. Again, I'm not going to give the name of this website. Again, I'm not going to give the name of this website.
It is fucking tribalism. These feminists who speak about anti-feminist tribalism, I mean, they are right. There is a shitload of tribalism in the anti-feminist community. It's easy to see when you look at anti-fem followers reacting at videos made opposing their mascot or whatever. But there is tribalism in the fem community. Make no mistake about it. There are femmes who make rules up as they're going and they request and expect that other feminists who are affiliated or friends with them respect those rules regardless of their own values. But get this, they won't respect their own rules when it suits them. This applies to doxing, this applies to body shaming, this applies to language, this applies to the way you use info shared in private conversations.
Take Kristi out.
And above all, concerning that doxing shit, you're supposedly against it when it's done by others. But when you post links leading to that doxing information, you call that justified. You use an excuse for doing so because you deem that you have a good reason for doing it. Because you're virtuous, right? Your excuse is that this is evidence that will clear the name of your friend. You can say that all you want to try to convince yourself, but you're fooling no one. Posting that stuff didn't clear anyone, and it was obvious from the start. The people involved at the base of this are anonymous. We will never know who they are. Never. It's all speculations. If it wasn't, we would know at this point, with all the people that are looking into this. There is no point in posting that stuff around. So why fucking do it? And you victim blame by even claiming that it's the person whose doxing info is on the line who is at fault for having these links published. That it is basically some type of punishment for something they did, that they got this coming. Can you hear or see yourself? You posted that link to information that may lead to harm because they brought that on themselves. Doesn't that remind you of those people that feminists usually oppose who say that the victims of rape brought it onto themselves? Can't you morons see how fucking stupid you are yet? And your huge fucking double standard. You think you're in a position to decide when doxing information is bad or good to be published when it is justified? You think you're in a position to claim when someone brought harm to themselves or not? You people are filled with hate and revenge. And this fucking blinds you. Go fuck yourself, seriously. You're exactly like the people you say you oppose, and worse even. Do you know who you sound like? You sound like fucking AIU. Congratulations, you're a feminist who sounds like one of the biggest dipshits on the internet. Doxing people and releasing information because they brought it on themselves. You feminists who act this way are fucking double standard hypocrites. You go on and on about censorship and how others try to silence us, and use any reason to do so, but you do the same. The worst is, most of the time you don't even see it. And when you do see it, you find yourself virtuous for doing it. You back each other up, and you tap each other on the back for doing so. And you lie, and delete tweets, delete comments, delete videos, delete evidence, in a hurry to cover for each other. I've seen it.
What I said in that conversation was they were sharing around private info. But I never said that they doxed info themselves. I said that that was private conversations. They deleted those messages. As far as I know...
I've seen some of you post videos about how body shaming is shitty, but then you post the doxing pictures of anti-feminists who are anonymous and you body shame them among you. I guess it's only shitty when others do it, right? Because you deem that they deserve it because they're scumbags, right? You are blinded by your hypocrisy and your tribalism and the idea you have that you're better than others and are entitled to boss everyone around and bully them if they won't do what you tell them. Fucking wake up. And how about stop using your fucking hypocritical excuses to post the doxing information of people you don't like in order to scare them, to punish them, and get revenge on them.
After the Kraut server and Jeff's involvement, we know what a doxing server looks like, right? So we have standards of evidence in terms of discussions and kind of information that was gathered and how it was talked about. And, you know, Bering should have that for myself and Danny if he's going to make those accusations in his video.
Hey, this thing that happened that has nothing to do with me or Bering somehow makes me look better for doing the exact same thing someone else may have done. By that logic, all the things Go Fem Yourself said that were directly related to ranting feminists and others must apply directly to you. I suspect that they apply directly to you, but I can't 100% prove that.
The feminist community or the social justice community itself is kind of toxic. Look at it. Look at this bullshit that they're trying to think up.